What is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your very first time joining me. My name is Jessica. My mother as well as a makeup lover, of course. So for today's video, I'm actually going to be using the Unearthly Cosmetics Warms My Blood eyeshadow palette. I am going to be just focusing on the palette, so if you're curious about any of the face products that I used, I'll be sure to leave those down below. I think today's video is going to be pretty short, sweet, and simple. And in my last video, I forgot to do my intro, and I almost did the exact same thing today. So anyways, if you're curious to see how I achieved this beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow makeup, definitely keep on watching. Okay. I am so super excited because we are finally going to be playing with the Unearthly Cosmetic Warms My Blood palette. So Unearthly Cosmetics did launch 4 Halloween palettes this year. This was one of them. This was the biggest one. And then there's a few other ones that I want to get my hands on. As you guys know, I'm fucking poor. So I did swatch some of the shimmers when I first received the palette, but I'll go ahead and do it this way so you guys could see. We have 2 rows of mattes, 2 rows of shimmers. Just, my God. It's so beautiful. So I will swatch a couple of the shimmers for you guys. Now, this one right here did actually come broken, and I did repress it, so it looks good now. But if you find that one crumbling apart, I'm going to cry. So, I'm not going to swatch the mattes, just some shimmers. I haven't swatched this one. This is shade Immortality. Immortality, we'll do Queen. Fucking stop it. We'll do Human. We'll do Worship. And we'll do Acacia. Immortality. Queen. Yes, ma'am. Human. Worship. And Acacia. Oh, that one just will keep going. That one's just gonna keep going. Ah, my God. I feel like the brown and the red are the least shiny, but pigment, baby. And they're still like shiny. When I look at this palette, I really, really want to play with the reds and the blacks. But I'm gonna save that for another look, okay? I wanted to use the brown and the white. I don't know. When I look at this palette, I have so many ideas. Honestly, like there's 2 rows of mattes, 2 rows of shimmers. And I feel like the colors that she put in here, yeah. So I have a few eyeshadow primers. So I know I'm always using my P. Louise, but that's because I have this big base. And I would say I'm probably about halfway through this. I've had this for like 3 years though. It's for sure expired, but it still works. So I'm still making my way through this big daddy. So that's why I always use the P. Louise base. But I recently got sent the Urban Decay like eyeshadow push and primer, and I also do have this Ace Beauty one. So I'm like, you know what? I know I have like a shit ton of this bottle. I've had some people say that the P. Louise one doesn't work for them, so I want to branch out and try other eyeshadow primers, just to kind of broaden the horizons, you know. And I'm also going to take some Scotch tape. So as you could see, we do have like, I think like neutral row, colorful row. So I think that's pretty nice how she set that up. But so we have this dark brown, and then we have this like reddy brown, and then we have this light brown. But this isn't as light as I like to go. I like to go even lighter. So because there's a white in this palette, I'm going to show you guys how to mix this shade with this shade in order to make a beautiful lighter brown to really achieve a full blend. So I'm actually going to start by taking the shade Alone right here. And I'm going to take this on a Makeup Check T44 brush. So it's a fluffy packing brush. And I'm going to put it a little bit lower than I usually would because it is a fluffier brush. And I am just going to go in a C shape because I'm going to cut the crease. So just like this, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. just keeping it nice and round. And like I said, I'm going to cut the crease, so I'm just kind of dragging it down to the tape. So next, I'm going to take the shade Violin. I'm going to take this on a Morphe brush. These do have some kick up in it, but not anything terrible. One thing that I don't know if anybody notices this. So there's a couple of people that I watch on like social media that they like dig their brushes into their shadow, and I'm like, you don't need that much. Like, I'm so like conservative when it comes to my makeup, because like I want it to last as long as possible. I find that's why I don't really pan my eyeshadows as well, because I'll go in with the lightest touches and really build the pigmentation, you know, rather than like picking up too much and then not being able to blend it out. Does anybody else notice that? Not about me, but like other people in general. Beautiful, beautiful brown shade. So there's two ways that you could go about blending this out. Now you could just take a fluffy brush. Like you could take like a Wet Wild brush, or like this type of brush, Morphe M433 brush. I think I'm gonna take the Wet n Wild brush today since it's clean. And you could literally just like very lightly blend this edge out, and you'll have a very nice blend. But I want a lighter tone. Oh, I got this wet. How did I get that wet? Anyways, I want a lighter tone of this exact shade. So I'm going to take this clean Wet n Wild brush, and what I'm going to do is I'll dip into the shade Violin. As you can see, you have some pigment. And then I'm going to dip a couple times into the white shade. Then I'm going to blend. And what's that going to do is that's going to make a lighter tone of that brown. And if I feel like it's too pigmented, I could just take a little bit more of that white. If I think it's not pigmented enough, I could take more of the brown. Just kind of going in between. And really blend it out. So, you see how I did that? Then I'm going to go back in with the previous brush with just the brown shade. And re-intensify that. And then I'll go in with shade Alone. And re-intensify that. And then I'll just kind of keep going back and forth between these shades until I'm happy with the blend. Now we have a nice, beautiful, seamless blend. So now I'm going to blend this side out, and then I'm going to cut out the crease and lay some base down. Okay, so I laid more of the Ace Beauty eyeshadow primer down. And I also wanted to try in this video, so I have used this once before, but I only used it a little bit. This is the Unearthly Cosmetics Glimmer Grasp. So this is going to be similar to NYX's Glitter Glue. It's going to help make your shimmers pop and shine. And they did also send this to me. Also, I haven't mentioned this, but you can use code 381makeup on all things Unearthly Cosmetics. I think I want to take this shade Awaken, which is like, it has like green flecks in it. It's definitely like a shifty shade. So what I'm going to do is I'll take some of this Glimmer Grasp, and then I'm going to take a liner brush, and I'm going to draw a line with it right across the cut crease. And then I'm going to take a little flat brush with the shade Awaken, and I'm going to lay it down right on top. Okay. I think liner glue works a little bit best for what I'm trying to do, just because I can get a more precise line with it. But that definitely worked. So now I'm going to take the same shades that I used on top on bottom. I'm going to tap this out in the front to make sure it's not creased. Looks good. So starting with the shade Alone, I'm just going to smudge this like a wing liner right up to that shine. Then I'm going to take the shade Violin, And I'm going to do that right next to it in the same fashion. Then I'm going to take a flat brush with the shade Stone, which is the white. And I'll go ahead and pack this just a little bit in this inner corner here. As you can see right there. Alright, now I'm going to take a mixture of the shade Violin and Stone. Right in between those two shades. I'm kind of getting the shimmer everywhere on this side. Can you see that? I put the Glimmer grasp on this side, and I put the lash glue on this side, and I think the lash glue just really gripped it a lot better because it's kind of smudging on this side. And it still looks really pretty, but it's kind of smudged. I just think that the lash glue really did a little bit of a better job holding on to that shimmer in the liner way that I wanted it to. Not that the Glimmer grasp is bad, because I haven't really tested it out too much, but specifically for the liner idea, I think the glue just held on better, because it's kind of a little bit messy on this side, but that's totally fine. Go ahead and remove this and get a nice sharp wing. Alright, so that's pretty much the eyes done. Of course, I'm still going to do under my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and skip past my face makeup, because I do really want to keep the center of attention on the Warms My Blood palette. But I do have right here the face products that I want to use. So I'm also going to be using the Unearthly Cosmetics lashes. These are in the style Supreme Being, which I think are going to go perfect with this, because they're not going to overpower it. And then I'm also going to take the Unearthly Cosmetics Low Light Highlight Palette. So they did send this to me before they rebranded, so it does say Alien Cosmetics. So they did just relaunch this, and now it says Unearthly Cosmetics on it. So when you purchase this, it'll now have their new logo. She also took the green pigmentation out of this shade, so it's white, but it still has the green reflex. So it's actually going to work much better on a lighter skin tone, because as you can see, it's just really deep. So yeah. This is the highlighter palette I'm going to be using today. And then the lashes also from Unearthly Cosmetics. So this is what it looks like. So I've been seeing around that people are like, oh, you know, you don't need primer, da 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 da. So the past few days, like the last 3 days, I haven't been using my primers. And might I just say, I have the hugest pores on the fucking planet. I typically only go for pore filling primers and luminous primers, and I just feel like my makeup looks so much more flawless when I do prime. I just have like a lot of pores, and I just feel like my makeup just kind of cakes around them when I don't fill my pores in. And I have dry skin, so I really like the luminous look under my foundations. I mean, it looks fine, it looks good. I just prefer it much better when I actually have primer. So now to finish up the eyeballs, I'm going to start by taking the shade Alone on a little pencil brush, or a like smudger brush, actually, not a pencil brush. And I'm just going to smudge these shades. So shade Alone and Violin. And then I'll dust it off and take the shade Stone, which is the white, and just go right under it. And then I want to take the shade Awaken on my inner corner, just so you guys could truly appreciate this shade. I think it's like pinky green shift. I got this Lancome. This is the Les Stylo waterproof long-lasting eyeliner in the shade Chocolate Matte. And then my lashes are going to be the Unearthly Lashes style Supreme Being once again. And then I'm going to take this Nabi lip pencil. I think I'm going to do the shade Chocolate. Brown Cafe. And then I got this Fenty Beauty gloss, the Gloss Bomb Heat in the shade 03, possibly. Fenty Glow Heat might be the shade. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so here is the completed look. I went ahead and I changed my tops to something that I thought would match a lot better. What do we think? It's kind of giving like goddess vibes, you know? So I wanted to give my final thoughts and opinion, or I wanted to give like a first thoughts and opinion on the Unearthly Warms My Blood eyeshadow palette. Yes, babe. So yeah, so I want to give you guys my thoughts and opinions. First initial thoughts and opinion on the Unearthly Cosmetics Warms My Blood eyeshadow palette. So this is a eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette. And then, so yeah. I mean, just look at the colors. Just look at that color story. If that's not me, I don't know what is. The mattes performed exactly how I expect them to. They're nice and blendable, buttery, pigmented. Absolutely what I come to expect from Unearthly Cosmetics. The shimmers, they're so good. I am all about shimmer and shine, and these ones just really blow me away. And Unearthly Cosmetics does like a really good job of throwing like shifty shadows, like multi-chrome duochromes into her shimmers, and it gets me every time. Wait till you guys see the up close of this eye. This one does it for me. I love Unearthly Cosmetics bigger eyeshadow palettes because it's just more for your buck, you know? So I have so many other looks that I have in mind for this eyeshadow palette. So you're definitely going to want to stay tuned if you want to see more looks. 10 out of 10. Zero complaints whatsoever, besides, you know, could use some lighter blending shades, but I made it work, baby. I made it work. Just based off of this eyeshadow palette, I definitely am more inclined to pick up the other, there's two of the other Halloween palettes that she launched that I really want to pick up. One of them is from, shit, I can't remember the names right now. What is going on? Anyways, there's two other palettes that I want to buy, and if they both have this same formula, I'm so excited. But yeah, I love the packaging. I love the shades that she included. I love that there's 2 rows of shimmers, 2 rows of mattes. I definitely love the color story of this one, and I definitely can't wait to see what else Unearthly Cosmetics has in store. I do want to try out the Glimmer Grasp again, but I want to do it to where I'm applying it all over the lid and then applying the shimmer on top, because the liner method didn't really work out too well, but typically I use eyeliner glue for that instead. So I'm definitely going to keep giving this a try and let you guys know how that goes. But other than that, I am extremely happy with how everything came out. I know I typically don't do like neutral looks like this, but I will definitely be doing some more colorful looks with this palette as well, so you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for that. But other than that, I think that is going to complete the video, you guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed. Definitely don't forget to like and subscribe if you like me and if you like my content. And without further ado, we're going to go right on ahead, roll the clip.